Makes you want to kind of get up and go. Get up and run. Run all over Stanford. That's what the Fighting Irish did tonight. Don't know where we're going. We're 9-3 though. Finished the regular season strong. Very strong at Stanford despite some foul ups at the beginning of the game, which we'll get to. Thank you for joining the Fighting Irish Faithful podcast. This is Joe. Last regular season post-game show. Happy for everybody who's here joining us and making me part of your post-game on a Saturday night. Happy Thanksgiving. Not quite Christmas yet. It's not even Advent yet, technically. But yeah, that's fine. If you got your Christmas lights up, more power to you. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We'll get to the people here in a sec, just real high-level statistics. Notre Dame is very victorious, beating the Cardinal by 33 points. We run the ball 76% of the time. I didn't believe ESPN when I first read that. So, and successful on 77% on third down and 58% on scoring drives. Very, very good. Really only one special teams score, which was great. My favorite part of the game was the Javonte Jean-Baptiste just saying, "Little boy, get away from me," and then towing the line and running it all the way down for Notre Dame's final score and points of the game. So, man, look at all these people we got on. Eeny, meeny, miny, and mo. We'll go to AJ first. Yeah, that's right. Yeehaw. AJ, you in the house? Or are you still doing Sky Zone trampoline? So, if not. We are powered by Leprechauns Media and Scotch and Spreadsheets as well. And, yeah, Leprechauns, we did have boots on the ground at the Stanford game. AJ, what's up, man?
What's up, buddy? How are you doing?
I'm really great. We won, and commanding victory towards the end of the third quarter, that's for sure.
Yeah, I watched the game at Al's. Came back from Sky Zone. Was jumping around, but that was pretty fun going to Sky Zone with my family and all that.
Are you just like slam dunking the ball like Notre Dame's running game all over Stanford? Or
That's what I was doing. I just took the ball and just it took me maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes to actually get used to the bounce because I've never actually done that as a child. I never really went to fun zone or anything or jump zone or anything. So I grew up kind of, a little low on money and all that, parents and all that. Yeah. So, it was the first time going something like that. Thank God we didn't go to Al's before that because I would be puking up beer and all that. So,
yes, for AJ and I, we live kind of near each other ish, but we haven't actually met in person. And so we were DMing each other like, "Hey, I'm gonna go to the bar," and you're like, "Well, I gotta go to this thing," and I'm like, "You might as well go to the thing because beer then jumping on a trampoline is probably not the best sequence there."
No, because what we did at Sky Zone was basically that thing where you climb up and you hit people with that long thing or whatever, the long bar it is.
Okay.
My fiance knocked me off. All right, she hit me.
It sounds like American Gladiators with trampolines.
Yeah, exactly. And she hit me square in the nose, and then she got me in the leg. So then I just fell off.
I like your fiance more and more.
Yeah, gotta respect the doc.
That's right. So does she like Notre Dame football as well?
She went to IU. She's an IU fan.
Okay, so she likes basketball. Okay, good.
Yeah, she loves basketball. She'll sit there and watch a basketball game, but she can't keep her patience.
Okay.
Not soccer, but she can't keep her patience with football.
Now,
she doesn't like the hits too much.
I got a question for you. So, how did you watch this game? Were you like?
I was at Al's.
Did they actually have the game on there?
Yeah, they had it on. And I would assume that a bar like that would have all the sports channels and stuff. Okay. We went there. I caught the game at the right time when Irish were down 2, right before us, and they took it into the end zone. So, so it was a nice blowout.
You may need to be more specific about exactly when the Irish were losing to Stanford early in the game, which was the most frustrating thing on earth.
That was really frustrating.
I don't know. It was more frustrating. Me figuring out that I needed to, quote, upgrade my free subscription or trial, I should say, to Fubo. and FUBO, or the fact that Notre Dame was just turnover machine at the beginning of the game. Oh my gosh, it was just pulling my hair out, just like what is happening, and then trying not to create a scene and da 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 da, and then of course it's all in vain because it's like, okay, clearly let's settle down, get shit organized, and just hand it to that Estime guy.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I was almost expecting like 300, but
Mm-hmm.
this whole like shade about like him not being nominated for that award for the top running back in the
Right.
country, like not being in the finalists was kind of, I mean, we saw it with Kyron Williams last year where he did have a spot where he did have a say to be on it, but I mean, I guess with this, I don't know how you guys view this running back class or anything, but like when you have Irving, Brooks, guys like that, it kind of makes it. I mean, then you have Corum who leads the country and like all these touchdowns at the 1 yard line, 2 yard line. I mean, he had a couple on his birthday today, but props to Michigan beating Ohio State because I always will hate Ohio State from
Okay.
birth. So my dad and my kids, like whenever I have kids,
Right on. Right on.
But but I don't know, man. Like, I mean, if Estime does go to the NFL, he should be a day 2 pick.
Probably.
But I mean, I don't know how GMs will view his skill set.
Yeah, that's an interesting piece. Like, and it really is more of a need thing in the NFL. I can't really speak too much to that. I'm not Mel Kiper or anything of that nature. Although I will say this: if I was getting paid out the ass like he is, I could talk my mouth and just watch football all day. Hell yeah. And that's not to be like disrespectful to Kiper or anything. Clearly he's worked to be to where he is today. So don't get me wrong. That being said, though, with Estime, I mean, what if that was his last game that we saw, which I hope it's not, but
I hope it's not. I hope he comes back. I know people are worried about this whole injury thing, but
I mean, for me, it's more the bowl game. Like,
first round pick
I don't think he'll be back, next season in the fall. I do not think we'll see him running out of the tunnel in Kyle Field down at Texas A&M. Now, could he be down in Tampa as we run out for the Pop-Tarts Bowl? Possibly. I don't know. I'm kind of reserving myself to kind of say that that's not going to happen and that he went out with a bang tonight. I think I saw on the TV, but I didn't confirm this with my sources regarding how Estime apparently set a Notre Dame record for most rushing yards in a football game, which I thought I was actually kind of surprised to read that, but that's what they flashed up on the Pac-12 network. So,
yeah, I mean, I was actually looking up how much what was the all-time rushing record for a single game. So, I mean, I thought like if he actually rips another one for 80 or 75 yards, he might be close in the vicinity there. But I mean, 250 might do good. I mean, I think he ended up with 238 or something like that and 3 touchdowns.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for Notre Dame and Coach Freeman to get to the 9-3 mark. The guys on the TV were so funny. They're like, "Oh, first coach since Charlie Weiss to have 9 wins his first." I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, stop. Like, let's not go there at all."
Of course. Did you see the whole mouthing off from Freeman and Ostame on the sideline?
Okay.
What was that about?
I don't know what that's about. I saw that on the TV, and then Always Irish had a tweet about it, and I was asking Twitter if any Michigan people who know how to read lips, that's a joke, could, interpret what was going on, and got no feedback. So I'm very curious what that was. It was right after we scored. Now, it wasn't Estime who scored, so who knows? Maybe it was a coaching moment. Again, I don't know. I can't say I don't know enough. So,
right. It's I mean, I kind of you're in your last game. Probably you will get a competitive bowl for sure. I just don't know which bowl we're going to be placed in. I mean, it's probably going to be the Pop-Tarts Bowl, but I mean, hopefully it's going to be.
I kind of want
something
it to be
watch.
I've been saying it jokingly in jest, but I kind of want it to be the Pop-Tarts Bowl, just so we could say, "Hey, we went to the Pop-Tarts Bowl."
lifetime supply of Pop-Tarts. That'd be great. I
Well,
mean,
I
you
mean,
know.
I never buy Pop Tarts, but I would for that, so.
Yeah. No, but we'll see. We'll definitely see what they get placed in. But like, I think 9-3 is really impressive. I mean, the team came together in the last couple of games here. You know, they faced a lot of adversity when it came to Louisville and Clemson. You know, of course, Ohio State
Mm-hmm.
earlier in the year. But can't have them all. But like,
Yeah,
I went to the Louisville game. I thought Louisville came out and they outcoached Marcus Freeman. That's just
I agree
me.
with that.
That's my opinion. And
Looked a lot like the
aside from that,
Stanford game at the beginning of this game, right? You're just like,
yeah,
oh, for fuck's sakes, what's going on out there?
yeah. I didn't. I
Seen this
didn't think David
before.
Shaw. I didn't think David Shaw would outcoach Marcus Freeman. Guys on the hot seat as
Well,
ever.
that was last year, but no, this year was it Troy Taylor now is their head coach over
Oh,
at
sorry about that.
but no, it's no, you're good. It's I know Shaw was there forever, so it's like, oh, he's still there,
Forever.
but no, like Stanford's got a different identity and but still Stanford and a team that we don't have to like and get the Legends trophy back to South Bend. Well, AJ, we got tons of people on. We're
Yeah.
going to try to get as many people as possible and I'm going to try to not stay up super late.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I mean, anyways, go Irish. Great win today. Hopefully, we get placed in a good bowl. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving, good long weekend. You know, ate a lot of good food. But I'll sign off here and let everyone else go. I'll keep on. I'll keep it on and have it in my AirPods. So,
Right on,
all
man.
right. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, AJ, for joining us, and go Irish. Joined
All right.
with my co-host, Red Snapper 9098. I saw that you jumped on. Co-host, welcome back.
Hey, how are you?
I'm happy. We got a win, and we won by over 30 points. So that was my prediction. You were very close, though. Well, sort of, not really. The Stanford, I guess, the scrub time kind of messed it up because your prediction was 58-18.
Yeah. But I also predicted the 5 sacks that did happen.
You got 5 sacks? I got 4 on my sheet.
I believe we had 5.
All right, that's fine. Well, maybe ESPN's throwing me a bone and not you. I don't know. Were you very frustrated at the beginning of the game, or did you not even watch the game because you were like, trying to find some?
I watched it. I sat here and I screamed at the TV. I think pretty much like everyone else, especially that first quarter was ugly. And offense, defense, all of it kind of looked shady. The one that I just kind of laughed at and put my head in my hands was they were within, I think, the 10-yard line, and all of a sudden their offensive line spread out like it was going to be a swinging gate. And then the quarterback just quick snapped the ball and got 3-4 yards on just a QB sneak, basically. Like, I'm sitting there going, oh, my God, really? Come on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, kudos to the defense. They did, hold them to field goals. And, just this back and forth of, okay, we get a touchdown, and then we turn the ball over, and then they kick another field goal. And then, it was the strong start that I thought they were going to have didn't happen. So I was frustrated with that.
No, we fumbled on our first drive.
It's like you have an amazing run, get the first down, get out of bounds, get to the next play. He turns it back inside, and you're like, oh my gosh. And I don't know who it was on Twitter that said it's like a 6-year senior should not be doing this.
Yeah, I forget who that was. It might have been Coach Parsegian. But no, it's 100% right. Like why are we still seeing this nonsense? And even Jelly's interception at the end was just like, it was just a bad throw, bad read. Like, who are you throwing to, man? Like at least, I don't know. I'm not trying to be a sympathizer here for Hartman, but it's like, like, yeah, can we just get out of our own way?
If Angeli came out and threw another touchdown, audible, and the whole rave that happened at the end of last week, happened again. Oh man, people would be on the fences begging Hartman not to play for the bowl game. But honestly, it came down to one thing, and one thing is #RTDB.
Yes.
And Parker, you're a fucking idiot for not using estimate like you did this game the whole fucking season.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up about running the football and Stanford's rushing defense. It's not completely trash, although it looked like trash today. But Stanford coming into this game was 53rd in the country, averaging or holding their opponents on average to 143 yards. Now, what's interesting about that is I would be curious to normalize that by the Pac-12 in general, which tends to be a little more pass heavy, right?
Yeah.
Like this isn't, they're not playing, the Air Force or Tulane or Notre Dame. Well, they did tonight. But I mean, we made them look like the 130th rush defense team with the amount of, rushing yard points that we had.
Well, Estime, I think, had 130 by the end of the first half, which is almost what they were allowing an entire game for a team.
Right.
So,
yeah, I don't have it broken down here by half, but I got a question for the next guy here. Why don't we get we got Wookie's request? He's probably working, so maybe we should get to him first. Let's get to Wookie. Invite you as a speaker here. Wookie for Who Day. I want to say like .com at the end of that for some reason. I don't know why.
Hey, what's going on, guys? You got me?
Yo.
what's up?
Hello.
How we all doing?
Happy. We won.
Heck yeah. 56-23. I mean, sloppy first half, but I'll take the W. And as always, fuck Michigan.
I know, even though they won today, which is really... And
God, tainted.
So it's... I mean, as much as I don't like Ryan Day or even just Ohio State in general, I just can't stand Michigan. But, I mean, they were the better team today. They looked better from the get-go.
Right.
I was kind of going in and out of that game. Got to see the end of it. The Michigan game is, I mean, look, they'll probably destroy Iowa, excuse me. And, they're probably going to make the playoffs. Ohio State will fall. They're probably out. Washington and Oregon, that Pac-12 championship game next week, Friday, which is weird. That'll be interesting
Right.
to figure out who's going on. And then I saw that Florida State and Florida were kind of going at it tonight. And so that game I think is still going or near the end. I don't know.
Florida State won.
Florida State did win? Okay.
Florida State won.
All right, so they survived. And
Yep.
I don't know who they're playing in the ACC championship, but maybe Louisville, who lost to Kentucky. So I don't know. Battle of Bluegrass State. It is what it is. So Wookie, you're so you're clearly happy Notre Dame wins.
Yes.
Let me ask you a question here. Notre Dame clearly was very run heavy in this game, 76% run percentage. Do you know what Notre Dame's rushing attempts to touchdown ratio was?
For this game only,
I'll give you a hint. Estime alone had 4 rushing touchdowns.
Right. Tell me the stats. I'm not gonna guess.
Okay, that's fine. So rushing attempts per touchdown, Notre Dame was 9.6. Every 9.6 rushes was for a touchdown. Estime alone was 6.25.
What could have been? Oh my God.
Yeah. Now it wasn't as quote unquote good as Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, for the team, we were 8.25.
Yeah.
So we didn't Pittsburgh,
man.
Stanford, but we did. We killed them. They could do nothing, and it's like, and so it's kind of nice at the end of the game. It's like, why are you fucking passing? Don't pass.
Right.
We ended up with just 15 passing plays. That's not receptions. That's plays.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on that first half. I'm working in my man cave. I had to close my door because I was yelling profusely.
I wanted to, but now I have a sponge of a toddler, so I have to be a little more creative in my cussing.
Right, and so I was on a call when the fumble recovery for a touchdown happened, and I was actually getting Mishawaka facility back online.
Okay.
When that happened, and I said touchdown Irish, and the maintenance director was like, "Go Irish!"
Oh, nice, nice. Nice.
So that was a little cool.
So you fixed Notre Dame's problems. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, I try. I try to fix the nearby issues. The in-house things, I don't know. Maybe I could.
Excellent. Well, Wookie, anything else? We're just gonna kind of rapid fire people tonight.
Yeah, we got a lot of people on here, and like I said earlier in one of my comments, we got a good following here of Notre Dame Irish people. Let's keep it going. Get them all on. Let's do it up.
That's right. Yes, and since we just beat Stanford, hopefully everyone who's on tonight, anyone who's listened to this in the podcast version, or just follows us, the show, on Twitter, trying to get as many people out to the Stanford game as possible. Network, communicate, set your money aside, put your coins in a jar, whatever you got to do to get your ass to South Bend for the Stanford game. We'll have an epic tailgate. It'll be awesome.
And
there
that's
may be a
October
Wookiee presence.
12th?
May.
Yep.
No, do or do not. There is no try.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And we're looking for that's what, October 12th
October
next year,
12th,
right?
2024.
That is the week after my birthday. So, yep. Yeah, my birthday's October 3rd.
Nice. Happy birthday early.
So, yep, I will definitely do my best.
Good. All right, Wookie, thanks so much for joining us. We'll jump over.
Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one, and go Irish. Go to the next person, at Pello Jace, live from Texas. I'm assuming he's still in Texas. I don't know. Pello Jace, you there? I don't know if you watched the game. I know you said you were listening to it, but he's listening to us live tonight, so that's good. Unless Jay is ready to hit the sack. Go to bed. I don't know. What's really funny about this game, and I thought it was kind of poetic justice, is how at the beginning of the game we're like, Hartman, what are you doing? And he's, he throws a pick, and then there's the fumble and all this other bullshit, and it's like, son of a bitch. And then everyone's like, pull him, put in Angeli, and then it's like, the response of the coaches is, oh, we'll just run the football, which I thought was the right thing to do. And then eventually Angeli comes in, his first pass is fucking pick. So it's like, oh, all you people over here that were... I'm not going to call anybody out.
We'll just keep running the ball.
Coach Parsegian, we're going to call you out. Yeah, even, I mean, don't get me wrong. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I was just like, okay, hey, look who just joined us, Coach Parsegian. But no, like, it's so funny. Angeli's first pass is a pick. I'm like, are you sure that's what you want right now? Okay, well, that's fine. We can just run the ball. That works too. So I got my RTDB fixed right now, so I'm actually a real happy camper. All right, Jay, you're quiet. That's fine. That's cool. You jump on whatever you want. We'll go over to Dr. Abby. I think we're gonna run seniority here by people with PhDs, MDs, ODs, DDSs. What are chiropractors? Anybody a chiropractor out there?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Jeff just requested to speak. Maybe he's a doctor. Dr. Abby, you there? He invited you to speak. Did you brine that turkey the way we asked you to? Oh no!
She was
took
saving
notes.
it for next year.
That's going in.
She
the,
was
in the
saving it
book.
for next year. She said she put it in the cupboard for next year.
Okay.
I'm here.
Yo.
Hey, there she is.
Welcome back, Dr. Abby.
What's up?
Happy, very happy. We ran the ball all over Stanford.
Yeah, that was a pretty incredible game. A very sketchy start, but very solid ending.
Now I got a question here, not to get too much into your personal life here, but your fiance is a Buckeye.
Very much so.
What's the mood like over there today? Is it like you don't know where to be because clearly your team won?
You're staying in the other room.
Like what? Walk me through what's happening right now.
So we actually drove up to my parents' house today so we could get the Pac-12 network on, and we're watching it with Big Al. And Quentin is about 5 feet from me on the couch. So we watched the game together. It was a pretty somber car ride home from Columbus, but took it pretty well. He said earlier, he goes, if Ohio State, Michigan played that exact game 10 times, Ohio State would win 5, Michigan would win 5. It was just kind of a coin flip.
Yeah. No, it was really, really close at the end. Too bad Michigan didn't have 10 guys on the field to help Ohio State out. But
Yeah.
that's still funny. I'm sorry. It is. It's, home of the 10th
It
man.
will be. It will be.
Did anyone print
Safe.
those shirts? Home of the 10th man? We should do it.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty awesome. So all right. So anyway, all right. So Ohio State loses. It's not the game that I want a comet to hit the stadium. I will say. Well, okay. I guess it was in Ann Arbor, so maybe we do want a comet to hit that stadium. But no, if it was like Michigan and SC, it's like forget that. I do not want to watch any. I don't want anything to do with that. I probably wouldn't even watch the game, quite frankly. And then Alabama pulls a freaking rabbit out of their hat. All of a sudden, like the game was basically lost, and then fantastic throw to the corner, and then they finished the game with a pick six. So like, okay. So
yeah, Milrose's touchdown in the end zone was incredible. He had so much time and then just
gosh, it was
dropped
amazing.
a dime.
Gee whiz, it's just like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know how Auburn still only had one-on-one coverage when there was so much time to just cover everyone in the end zone. But
yeah. Very, very strange. Very strange day in college football to an extent. That's definitely a game that Auburn had the juju, had the goodness going for them, and Alabama was caught sleeping, but ended up pulling it out, so which is good. So
yeah,
I mean that towards the end, I will say towards the end, it looked like Alabama teams of yore. Throughout the game, that was just like, who is this team? They're just letting Auburn go in there, and this is a 6-5 football team. Like, I don't know about this, but yeah, Hugh Freeze has got some work still to do, but they're still alive and kicking. But any other thoughts you have about this Stanford Notre Dame game, or what was your favorite part?
my favorite part was definitely JJB's pick six. That was just a highlight for me. He had such a great season, and I just feel like some of the lore rested with some of the other guys. Like very well deserved was Xavier, but I think him getting that, I guess would it be a kick six since it was a blocked field goal?
I think kick six is like if you're Tyree or something down at the goal line. I would just chalk that up as a scoop and score, really. Although he did face plant, who I don't know if that was Stanford's kicker or the holder or somebody, but whoever it was just looked like a fifth grader just being thrown around like a rag doll. So
looked like Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah,
it was great. He's like, little boy, get off of me, and he just dances the line and just all the way down. I'm probably making way too much noise and waking up my toddler when that was happening.
Yeah. No, really the only last thought I have, so we're just talking about Alabama and the roller coaster season, I saw Clemson won. And since they won, James Madison is now actually forced to be bowl eligible because they're on enough 6-win teams. So even though the NCAA denied them, they're in.
Wow. Interesting. Got good stuff going on here. Yeah. It's, well, and then who knows what's going to happen next year with the playoff expansion up to 12 teams, we shall see. It's been a fun day for college football. And then we have all the, which is nice cause it's it's the end of the season. And then we're going to go out with conference championship games next week. So.
And probably the last real week where the conference championships matter as much as they do. So
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is a criticism argument against, you could say, against conference championships. And really, it hasn't been a thing for all that long. Only in certain conferences did they do it. Some they didn't. Now it's just kind of a thing, and I think a lot of it has to come down to just money and just like, hey, it's like a mini BCS kind of situation, or you got this half the conference over here, this half the conference over there, like it is in the SEC and the Big Ten and whatnot. But no, it's I think it's going to be a fun weekend next year, because it's always about how teams are racking and stacking. And I guess the pressure for us is we have no shot at the playoffs, and so it's going to be kind of just more fun for us to watch. If anything, what won't be fun is seeing which of our guys start coming out with their, long tweets about I'd like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and my teammates at Notre Dame and and I'm going to the NFL and I won't be playing anymore. So I imagine we'll start to see those kind of things come out. And I'm just kind of preparing myself and holding my emotion back about that for now. I don't really want to talk about that tonight. I'd rather talk about the positives of this great game. And on a downer there. Okay.
I was going to say, I'm going to sidestep that and not spark the poke the bear. So,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So why don't we just move on to the next person? If Dr. Abby, you got any last final thoughts?
No, I am good. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right. Good night,
You
Dr.
too.
Abby. Have a good one. All right. We see Jeff here. Jeff how do you say this, Jeff? You said this before.
Dropjack?
Strabeck?
Boys, what's going on?
Jeff, please say your name.
Jeff Stribiak.
Stribiak.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It sounds like Tridiak, who was a goalie for the Russians in the 70s and 80s, but okay, fine. Sorry. Stribiak. How you doing, man? You happy with the win?
Yes, I am. If you would have asked me about 2.5 hours ago, I wasn't happy about how that game was going. But
WTF,
long story,
mate.
Yeah, long story short, it ended up pretty damn good. And on behalf of the whole Notre Dame fan base, I'd like to say, fuck any of the Doak Campbell Award panelists, whatever they are, committee. Because we saw the nation's best running back get fed.
Do you think that maybe the fact that he got the ball wasn't just because obviously he's Notre Dame's best player, but is that kind of more of a middle finger, or just like, what the hell, guys? Like, look over here. Who ended up winning it?
It was a statement, and I think that statement was made loud and clear.
Oh,
and
sure.
Even though we didn't overfeed Audric the ball, Audric just ran for days. I mean, he had at one point 20 carries for 193 yards. That's 10 yards of fucking pop, boys. Boys and girls.
He was averaging on first down 9 yards a carry, and that was just the first quarter.
Exactly. Yeah, he was playing big boy football today, and he was playing boys. That's Audric Estime. And you know what? I got into an argument with a quote-unquote Notre Dame earlier in the week about how he wasn't surprised that he wasn't a Doak Campbell Award semifinalist and that Jeremiah Love was the better of the two. I beg to differ.
Yeah, I'm not to agree with that, but okay.
I think the main responsibility falls on Parker, not profiling Estime's talents and abilities as much as he should have.
Snapper, you hit it on the head, brother. You hit it on the head. And that is the storyline of this season, is we didn't highlight our superstar. And we kind of, I wouldn't say delegated that, but we put a lot of shine on QB1, and Audric Estime was carrying the offense. And I'm gonna live and die on that sword, because he did it last year for us, guys. I mean, Michael Mayer and Audric Estime were our offense, and that's it. Now, Audric Estime has been our offense the full year, and I'll argue with whoever. You could say what you want about the kid, but he shows up and he performs week after week. And yes, he's a north to south guy. We know that. But today he showed a little bit of what can make him really special at the next level. Is he was finding himself holes, and he was shifting. he was actually shifting today. And that's what made me the most happy inside, was seeing Audric run with that purpose that could get him to the next level and to succeed at the next level. I'd love to see the guy in a Bears uniform, because Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, I am a Chicago Bears fan, and I am tortured by what I watch on Sundays. But thankfully, he gives me what I need on Saturdays. We saw a little bit of what we've seen in previous games of the absolutely pitiful starts that we have. Sam Hartman turns the ball over twice. We have another special teams turnover. And that was kind of it, you know. And I mean, Steve Angeli's interception, we'll just, I'm going to look past that for now. That was pretty damn ugly. But
it was a terrible
read.
It was a terrible throw.
Yeah, it was a terrible throw. It was
so
a
bad.
It was a right throw, but it was about 6 yards past Jaden Greathouse. So that's. But how about our defense? They got punched in the mouth by all these different formations, and I'll give it to Troy Taylor. He runs a very, very unique offense, and I don't know if you guys recognize, but did you see the splits by some of our linemen?
Oh yeah, I was cracking up. Like I put my head in my hands at one point with the quick QB sneak for 4 yards. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
It was incredible. I mean, and I'm sitting next to my dad. I'm watching the game with my dad on what is it, Fubu TV, and I'm sitting next to him. I go, Dad, why aren't we blitzing every freaking time? Like these guys are getting comfortable and these big plays are happening because we're sitting back in coverage. We got Jordan Botello playing the Viper position, playing in coverage. Kaiser runs the other way, and Emmitt Smith, the fourth, is wide open for 40 yards. Mm-hmm. It's like, guys, what are we doing here? And Al Golden, I'll tell you what, man, he's really gotten these guys tuned in, and I was a big critic on Al in some parts of the season, but man, he has this defense believing dialed in, and this week we actually saw the enthusiasm of Al Golden. I mean, he was fired up. And,
well, I mean, and they seem to be. I don't see the defense really being a liability per se. I think there's moments of that are head scratching here and there. And maybe that's more of like individual players, but the overall scheme I thought was good. Now, one thing I thought that was stupid and it was like a first down for Stanford, and it was kind of in garbage time, but we ended up blitzing like through the A gap, but then there was nobody in the middle of the field. And so I forget who the backup quarterback for Stanford was, but he's just like, and this shows some of the coaching and, talent that is on Stanford's team. So they're not complete trash. How he's reading the linebacker, sees him blitz. And so he's like, oh, you're going to go through that A gap. I'm going to go the other way and run down the field and get a first down. So.
Yeah. And that's the stuff I agree with, where schematically it just needs to be better. Could it be just our youth that was playing out there at the time? I don't know if our guy. No, actually, you know what? That was on a 3rd and 7, Joe, and we switched off the young guys and put back our starters in, and they run that play. That quarterback runs that play for about.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't necessary at that point. Like, it's fine if you're gonna blitz somebody. Don't get me wrong, but you cannot leave the middle of the field wide open. For like that kind of a liability. That just. To me, just screamed, yes, go ahead, just run it right here. Jeff, here's a kind of a true or false thing. Stanford had 3 guys throw passes today.
True.
False. 4.
4. Sorry, 4. Yeah.
I was gonna say 4.
Trick question. Yeah, true or false? True or false?
The Idaho kid right at the end. The kid they were talking about. He's from a senior. He got called. I forgot about him.
Yeah.
And the running quarterback threw a couple passes. So I'm going to keep it short tonight because overall I'm happy with the performance. I always like to see adjustments made throughout the game. It makes me believe in Marcus's culture. How
they made
he's
adjustments. All right.
Yeah. How he's
Stop
going to
turning
coach.
over the ball.
Yeah. Well, that was. I mean, Joe. I know you had a couple. You added a little bit more scotch to the cup. To the cup when we threw interception and then fumbles and then Jadarian fumbles.
I love that heavy sigh.
No, you better. I was thinking
so
you.
bad.
I was just thinking of you riddling your cup with ice in it and just automatically thinking you're filling it.
That's right.
No, I think that's where he's removing the ice cubes. In all honesty,
just like, where's the bottle? Forget this.
Any sort of balance is gone there because Joe's just adding straight alcohol at that point. So
that's right.
But,
yeah, no, it was. I mean, it wasn't. I did tone it down, although I did have like one of these fancy beers that I bought, and it was absolutely god awful, and so I poured it down the sink. It was terrible, and I'm like, can I just get a normal beer here? What the hell did I buy? And maybe it was because it was like some red color. Who knows what it was? But that being said, yes, the beginning of the game was frustrating for everybody. And I'm not just talking about the play on the field. I also did the Fubo free trial thing, to which I need to write a post-it note here to make sure I cancel it tomorrow. That shit's expensive. I was reading through it. I was like, whoa, this is nuts. So that being said, I was just like, yikes, do I get like a fruit basket when I, buy this? No. So yeah, everyone, if you got the Fubo free trial so you could watch this game, by ethical means, I'll just put it that way. Make sure you cancel. Or hey, if you want to keep it, okay, you do you.
Want to watch the Pac-12 network for the?
Well, it's bullshit because one
it's left.
So two days ago, I was like, okay, it's going to be on Fubo, whatever. And so I went, what was it? Thanksgiving Day, Friday, whatever day it was. It might have been yesterday. And I signed up, got it connected to the TV, no problem. And I was like, okay, this is good. And then I even favorited the Pac-12 network. Well, apparently I didn't favorite the channel. I favorited some highlights bullshit. And so fortunately someone else on Twitter, that Dr. Abby I saw, retweeted or commented, whatever. And it was like, oh, make sure you get the special elite package. I'm like, son of a bitch. And to which I had a cursing related tweet. And then some customer service rep from Fubo is actually tweeting back at me and someone else about, oh, make sure you have the special package. I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to cancel this tomorrow. Just let me watch my Irish,
Notre Dame for the 3 hours they're on.
So I don't have to get some Trojan horse virus spyware, on my computer, through some, Russian site. I don't know.
Get out of here. But I'll keep it short. I know there's other folks looking to speak. But overall, I'm happy. 9-3 record. Underwhelming that we finished at 9-3. But you know what? We talked about this in previous podcasts. It's about looking forward and moving forward. Got to see a lot of Drake Bowen and Jalen Sneed tonight.
Yeah. Sneed had a good forced fumble.
I haven't seen a ball pop out that hard in some time. I mean, it cost Sneed to lose his helmet, but Drake also caught Emmitt Smith's kid jumping in the air, and Drake took care of him out of bounds.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, you're gonna go ahead and hurdle. How about we just tackle you midair? Little
backstory before I head out here. Drake's dad's family is from Texas, and Drake's dad is a Dallas Cowboys fan. So I sent him a text through the game because we're family friends, and
yes,
all of a sudden, I go, I'll be damned. How cool is it that you could watch your kid tackle your idol's kid and absolutely light him up.
Nice.
Yeah, and I was like, would you say you have one on Emmitt Smith right now in the kid race? He But it was a cool moment to actually share because I knew he was a Cowboys fan and whatnot. But overall, nice to see Jaden Greathouse again find the end zone. Also, Jordan Faison, the kid that he's a gift that keeps giving, guys. I mean, what a story! If there was a story of the year, it's Jordan Faison. If yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking forward to years to come because he gives us that.
He had 3 receptions in 66 yards, led the team, and 1 touchdown. So, and Greathouse had the other touchdown. So, no, it's for we didn't even really know who he was. Clearly, at the beginning of the season, it'd be nice to see him, get a little more strength in the weight room come next season, and watch his performance. Evolve. It's going to be great.
But thanks again, guys. Go Irish, and let's see if we get the Bayou bitch in a bowl game.
That would be nice. And if it happens, great. I think we'll be a little more juiced on this show and just in general on Twitter and social media. If Notre Dame gets Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers, I think that would be pretty cool, quite frankly.
We're gonna
it'd be poetic for sure. And the one thing I would be sitting there demanding is hashtag RTDB. Audric Estime down their fucking throat, 75% plays of the game.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Snapper, you hit it on the head.
And just time control, time of possession the entire fucking game.
And make Brian just get all red on the sidelines and have the stupid Brian Kelly face. Oh, I love it. I see it now, boys.
Hey, purple face could actually look good in those colors.
Oh, absolutely. Love the clueless Brian Kelly face. It's actually one for the ages. But thanks, guys. Good night. Go Irish.
Go Irish. Thank you, Jeff. It's funny. Jeff mentions BK, and I forget who it was. Someone on Twitter had a comment during the game. It might have been during halftime as I'm getting caught up. How someone made the comment. People were clearly pissed, about, and I think a lot of it is very reactionary regarding Stanford last year and how we're struggling against a team that's clearly inferior, not only statistically but also record-wise, right? Talent-wise. There was really nothing that pointed to Stanford having any sort of advantage. And so when we're in kind of a struggle at the beginning of the game and we're getting in our own way and we're turning the ball over, that's where people start just, and people are entitled to their opinions, don't get me wrong. But I saw something to the effect of like, why is Freeman doing this? And he's, going to lose to a team that we have no business losing to. And then someone made some comment about like, oh, Kelly never did this or something. And I was just like, excuse me? And I was just like, excuse me. It took him like 8 seasons to finally stop losing to teams that he had no business losing to. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, hold the phone there. And I didn't take receipts here. I'd have to go back and figure out who that person was. And, but it's just like, I hope you're not being a Brian Kelly apologist, because I've got a short list of those people. Whoa, take that microphone. Maybe that was meant to be, Brian Kelly apologists.
Just beat the hell out of him.
Yeah, something.
Poor microphone.
All right, Coach Barsegian, I see you there, but we're going to get to Jimmy Joe, and then we're going to get to you, Coach. Jimmy Joe, who invited you to speak. You were as speaker. Are you here with us?
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Jimmy Joe, welcome back to the Fighting Irish Faithful Show.
Namaste. The missus was very mad at me today.
Oh, what'd you do?
Well, I wasn't cursing, but I was pretty upset the first quarter.
Yeah. Watching the you and everybody else on this network.
We should have a different mindset. The mindset should be, okay, we are now starting in the second quarter.
Skip the first, just go straight to the second. Yeah.
Because it only gets better.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking about drinking a lot. Did you drink a lot in that first quarter?
I mean, I'm clearly doing a show here, and I should not have a headache tomorrow. I'll just put it that way. But I mean, the frustrations in the first quarter are real. I think people are entitled to be like, what the hell are you doing, coach? I want, like at one point I had to double check to make sure Jack Cohn wasn't in the backfield there. It's just, what the hell are we doing? And Jack Cohn wasn't that much of a liability with the ball, but Hartman just was. And for me, it's not so much like Hartman the person. It was more just the play calling. Like, do we have to be chucking the ball around all over? No. How many of our turnovers are the response of passing? Now, maybe that's the frustration that people have because passing is fun, it's sexy, and you have to be able to do it well to have an elite football team. I get that. My whole thing is like, look, you just got to win today. And, of all those turnovers we had, 3 of them all came from passing.
Oh, Mr. Angeli, when he finally got in there, when we were making good scores, I say, oh, this is good. Okay, well, let's see what he does. Then he throws that interception.
Yeah, the first one was a pick. I'm like, you knucklehead, what are you doing?
And then when we had the ball again, the offense had it. Oh, he wasn't throwing the ball anymore. I bet somebody told him, do not throw the ball.
Yeah, let's just call those plays. It's like, let's just ride the clock out. Let's hand the ball off. Let's pretend it's high school, JV, whatever, and we don't need to pass to advance the ball. We're running all over them. Again, if there's a situation where we're gonna run it, they know we're gonna run it, and we're gonna be successful doing it. So do it anyway. Like, you don't have to mix it up. It's okay.
Oh, okay, I know. I was losing my curry in the first quarter.
Ew, that's not good.
Oh no.
That sounds like a messy cleanup job right there.
When we're doing really well, I want to talk about not drinking. I want to talk about eating. I want to talk about us putting together a cookbook. I have some good ideas.
Oh, yeah.
You should have different chapters. Like a chapter like when you're winning, this is the kind of treat or food you should have. And if you're not doing well, this is the other.
When we're winning, we'll do shots in celebration. When we're losing, we'll do shots when we're...
Oh, no. Now, you said that you're going to have another little one. I don't know if that's a good idea.
No, yes, we are having we're having Baby Irish Faithful is on the way. No, we're excited here in Fighting Irish Faithful headquarters here. The franchise will be growing after the Pop-Tarts Bowl. That's for sure.
Is that a real bowl game?
Oh yeah, Pop-Tart? No, I don't mean that just to be funny. Like it's a real bowl out there that I don't know if it's quote unquote the predicted bowl, but no, the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I'm Googling it right now.
Great.
There it is, okay. Pop-Tarts Bowl. Boom. So it says it's annual. It's the old Camping World Bowl, I think. So.
Okay, that could be in the chapter of desserts.
It's in Orlando. It's not. Okay, so it used to be the Blockbuster Video Bowl. CarQuest, Micron, Florida, Mazda, Champ Sports, Russell Athletic, Camping World, Kellogg's.
So it sounds like everything that's gone extinct because of Amazon.
Yes, yeah. Russell Athletic, Champs. Camping World's still around, right?
It is, but Amazon has heavily hit them.
Yeah, Bass Pro Shop and Buc-ee's and all those other places are still kicking it, but
yeah,
Kellogg's isn't going anywhere. People still like their cereal. So yeah, that's where the bowl game is. So no, it's the Pop-Tarts Bowl. It's going to be it was the Cheez-It Bowl the last 3 years is what it was. Cheez-It Bowl sounds way. So like what happens if like you win the Pop-Tarts Bowl? Is this like like there's a typical Gatorade bath, and the Cheez-It Bowl they would just have like a Gatorade cooler full of Cheez-Its that you would dump on the coach. That I thought was funny. If it's the Pop-Tarts Bowl, are they all still in the foil wrappers? So you just get hit with a bunch of foil wrappers that, or are the Pop-Tarts, already out of the wrappers and they're just these bunch like of, sharp wedges of compressed flour and frosting. I don't know.
Yeah, Pop-Tart minis maybe.
Pop-Tart minis? Yeah. Are those still a thing? I don't know.
They are.
I haven't bought Pop-Tarts in years, so who knows what's going on.
Or they should call it like Nacho Bowl or something.
Hot flaming cheese. You just pour it. It's like a fondue.
I think Tostitos would have something to say about that.
It's the curry bowl.
The curry bowl. Oh, that would be great. They'd have to be playing the game in Bombay or something.
I was gonna say what region of the country would that
that's right.
game be held at?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, you gentlemen have a wonderful day. It was so much fun watching us win.
Jimmy Joe, really appreciate you bringing the mood elevator up as we project and make crack jokes about the second tier bowl that Notre Dame's going to be.
I was so guilty. I said we were going to win only by 13. Oh, so bad.
That's
bad for
okay.
me.
I said we'd win by 30, so I got kind of close there. But Red Snapper, what'd you have? 58, 18. I double checked your stats, Red Snapper. We got 4 sacks. That's not saying we got 5. So I'm just saying.
When will we know about who's going to play? Who we play in a bowl game?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's usually a couple weeks. So
not this weekend.
No,
probably next weekend.
Yeah, it's usually after all the conference stuff goes on. So I think we have to wait over a week.
You're gonna have a thing before that game.
Oh yeah, no doubt. We'll do a show. We'll probably not do one Tuesday unless something crazy happens, but we'll probably take a week off and then come back after we figure out what bowl we're going to. And this is where the show is going to start to slow down because we've been in kind of the gauntlet, the marathon here. But I mean, there's nothing much going on right now, and we could always talk about Notre Dame football, I guess, but. There's not a whole lot of spreadsheets we can do here. So.
Okay, well, namaste.
Namaste. Jimmy Joe, really appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, take care. See you at the Curry Bowl. That was Jimmy Joe on the Twitter at Jimmy_Joe24. Appreciate his contributions here. Let's go to Coach Barsegian. Coach, what's up?
Forgive me for being like 7 or 8 Guinness deep, but that first quarter.
Understandable.
Oh, I'm not saying you're wrong.
Tweets,
you're
your
being
tweets
flippant.
in the first quarter were hilarious. I'm like, ooh, he's probably drinking heavy.
He is,
because there's no filter.
Heavy.
There are no filters on these.
He's gonna be picking fights in the second quarter. That's what's going on.
But I feel like I was responsible for your Brian Kelly bashing tweet because I said Freeman is just BK 2.0, isn't he?
Oh, I did see that tweet. I purposely.
I
don't think I responded.
No, BK beat the teams he was supposed to. Yeah, except when
he was
that
is
supposed to beat
the thread that is the thread that I responded to. Okay.
You're like, yeah, for 8 years of the program.
So I wasn't gonna respond to you because I know you well enough to know that you're having a stream of consciousness tweet. Whereas here you're a little more articulate, if I may. But I was very curious about the comments to your tweet, and so then I was like, oh, I want to know what other people think about this. So it entertained me in that regard. And then I saw the one gentleman who was like, Kelly won that, and I'm like, slight fact check here. It took him like 7 or 8 years for that to happen, but okay, fine, sure.
Yeah. No, it's just
Who was that? We should
it's
call
all
that
like
person.
within the first quarter. It's like, good grief, this is 3-8 Stanford. Why are we sucking this much against 3-8 Stanford? This is literally like BK 2.0. We should be above this. Have we not learned nothing in the last 13, 14? That's my whole gripe with all that tweet thread. So
yeah, and I think it was just as simple as we were trying to do too much. Go back to the basics, play good, solid, fundamental football. And I think it was like the basics. Stay in your assignments, stay on your edge. I mean, Morrison completely blowing past that reverse. Like, he is going to get clowned in
and the fact
film
that
tomorrow.
6-year quarterbacks don't fumble the ball like that and throw interceptions, like, come on.
Like, I was happy he got the first down. He got an extra 10 yards past that. But as soon as he turned to run back to the center of the field, I was like, okay, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then the fumble happened. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, just ride the sideline and step out of bounds.
I gotta give this guy a little bit of grief here. Chris Reeves on Twitter at Ginger Grievik, GIREVIK, at Ginger Grievik, had the no BK beat the teams he was supposed to which I'm like, only after about 8 years. So that I thought was interesting. Now, what I will say is on the Morrison misread, quote unquote, I'm not so sure that's the case, because the fact that he stayed with his receiver per se around the corner and let the other guy run by him. I kind of wonder if he's just like, no, I'm gonna stick to my man, and that was the formation, the call. Because when I watched the replay, I'm like, how the fuck does this happen? And there is a guy that's supposed to be out there in the flats, and he was late to the party. I don't know if it was Bethello or who it was, but Morrison stayed with his guy because maybe it was like one of those like toss and then backwards reverse Trojan horse pass plays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's really what was going on with that or not, or who that particular receiver was that Morrison was on. So I'm a little more curious to know some of the finer details of that play and what was being called by the defense. That's just my opinion about that particular play. I don't usually get too wrapped around the axle on particular plays unless it's like a turnover or something like you're talking about, Coach. Although the Cam Hart fucking, what was it, his PI, it's like, dude, just turn your head around. Come on, man. Like, it's stop holding
Well, at least
and
the
grabbing
Pac-12
him.
officials knew when to throw a flag. You watching that SEC game between
Oh,
Alabama
that was
and Auburn?
trash. And then the
Lord,
missed
how do you
face
have
mask.
a kickoff the way they did at the end and not throw a flag with all the punches and pushes being
Oh,
thrown?
it's so ridiculous. I'm just
Good
like,
grief. I've seen brawls in Major League Baseball have more ejections and suspensions than that.
yeah,
And it is insane how many flags should have been thrown.
Oh, it's nuts. Like there was another play earlier where it was like the Auburn guy got like kind of head smashed.
He got a chiropractic adjustment on that kickoff return.
Well,
and they still didn't throw a flag.
Well, and if anyone's gonna get a flag, it's gonna be the not the guy who tackled him, but it was just because he's bigger, but the whoever it was for Alabama that kind of did the step on your corpse, and guys do this all the time where someone's tackled and they just kind of like walk over him, not step on him, but walk over him. And so like the guy's trying to step up, but then he just gets a man butt or something under his helmet. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that kind of crap happens all the time, right? So it's kind of like if anyone's going to get a penalty, it's going to be that. But I don't know, just like
that one Auburn kick returner that got a literal chiropractic adjustment that they're just like, as the
it was completely missed on the face mask.
Judge conveniently ignored.
Yeah, well, that wasn't face masking.
Just, God.
And then Hugh Freeze is literally gritting his teeth on the sidelines, and it's like he's been a coach for so long. He knows just hats
off to Auburn. Auburn played a heck of the game.
They did play a heck of the game. Yeah.
I mean, if anything, Alabama is not a top 10 team after today. Shouldn't be.
They should not make the playoffs at all. They are
Even
not.
if they magically beat Georgia, Ohio State should get the nod over Alabama, in my opinion. So
I don't think you're wrong with that. I mean, you look at Alabama, and some of their games are close. Texas, who knows
weird
what's happening to them.
scenario, but assuming Michigan gonna win the Big Ten against Iowa because
Most likely.
it's Iowa. Okay.
Although
Michigan
I'm
beats
going to be rooting
Iowa.
for Iowa pretty freaking
Well, I will
hard, not
too.
gonna
I just
lie.
don't think they have the chops to beat Michigan.
They score
Michigan actually
like
impressed me
15
today.
points a game. It's Iowa. Okay. So you've got Michigan winning the Big Ten. Georgia, let's say, loses to Alabama. Texas wins the Big 12. Even if it's by a point. Alabama, the way that they played this week, even if they squeak by Georgia, Alabama has no business being in that playoff.
Yeah.
You struggle with your rival.
I mean, they're number 8 right
Get
now.
out
That
of
means
here.
they have to, how many teams have to jump over? They have to jump over Washington.
Thorne is one of the worst quarterbacks in college football. He can't even throw it accurately to his receivers unless they're wide open. Even and then he underthrows them. So
Now, I will say the pass at the end that was thrown into the corner of the end zone, and Alabama ended up taking the lead with there at the end. Man,
was it an accurate throw? Did he get his foot down? Yes, but I mean,
it was pretty tight. I was just like,
No.
what the hell? Yeah, so Alabama would have to jump over Texas, Oregon, Florida State, and now it'd be Washington, then Ohio State to get in. Obviously, Michigan will move up. Washington will probably stay where they are or move up. Florida State still probably slides in to number 4. Oregon's probably number 5.
And Florida has finally pulled ahead of Florida. Florida State has pulled ahead of Florida, and so all that's been quelled.
Yeah. I mean,
I still can't believe Louisville lost to Kentucky. That blows my mind.
I know, right? I mean, Louisville lost to a shitty Pitt team. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
It's just.
I mean, that's college football for you, right? Yeah.
But anyway,
we'll see how the Pac-12 conference championship goes too next week on Friday.
Yeah, because that's like
that's to me that's the most interesting of all these conference championship games. I guess maybe the Georgia Alabama game, but for the most part, the writing's pretty much on the wall. What's going to happen with all the others?
I don't see, even if Oregon wins, I don't see how you can leave a Pac-12 champion out of the playoff.
No. The winner of that game will be in. They'll be in. No, they'll
have
be.
To be.
They'll
have
be
to
in.
be.
Both are. I mean, they both have good records. Their strength of schedule is halfway decent in both teams. No, I think whoever wins that Pac-12 is in for sure. If not, then that would be the most conspiratorial bullshit ever. But I just don't see that happening. And the main reason is not so much like the teams, it's the fact that they both have 2 big quarterbacks, right? And it might be also some sort of like swan song farewell to the Pac-12 as we know it, since both those teams are going to the Big Ten next year.
Exactly.
I genuinely believe that. Like it's some sort of head nod to, okay, sayonara kind of situation. Either way, Notre Dame wins today. We're on the outside looking in, and I'm kind of curious where we're going to end up.
Well, I would rather it not be LSU, but
why?
Because I don't think our offense is still quite there yet.
Yeah, but what about our defense?
Our defense, yes, but I mean,
all right.
We've not really faced a mobile quarterback like Jaden Daniels yet. So I don't want to find out how ready they are for a mobile quarterback and it be against Jaden Daniels and we just get smoked all over the field.
Yeah.
And I say we have seen that mobile quarterback in Caleb Williams, and we took care of it pretty well. So I see a lot of comparisons and similarities. So I don't see anything LSU is doing that our defense couldn't handle if they had the time to prep for it. It's whether or not the offense actually does their job and control the time of possession.
But remember who our offensive coordinator is.
I know.
Just keep running the football.
At least we don't have sluts as ugly as Stanford's. We know that much.
Oh my gosh.
Or coaches as ugly as LSU's. So.
That's right. That's right. Well, Coach, are you disappointed in the season, or you just want to see how we end up with the bowl game, or does the bowl game not matter?
It doesn't matter at this point. We're not getting a New Year's Six. We're not getting a playoff. Let's just bench Hartman. Let's get Angeli and Minchie in there, and let's see how they do compared to Card in the spring game, and let's just go from there.
So you're looking forward to next year.
Hartman, we appreciate it. Thank you for all you've done, but you've contributed all you can contribute. Your time is done at Notre Dame. So let's plan for the future.
All right. Got no major complaints with that. I think your opinion is valid. I think that is kind of the overall feeling. I know I expressed my emotion after the Clemson loss, and how, we still had the opportunity to go to a New Year's Six, especially with this roster, with this team, and the marketing and some of this experience or leadership of Hartman and the talent of Estime, who people are talking about going to be going pro, and I've kind of already left that emotion out there about my quote unquote disappointment for the season, but I did embrace the last 3 weeks of football, including tonight, just saying, look, this is where we're at. I'm going to enjoy watching football to an extent, and we're gonna keep going forward as a program. It's clearly not the outcome that I wanted. Clearly, seeing Ohio State, go down to the wire and then throw a stupid interception at the end, and as much as I dislike seeing Michigan win, I keep saying to myself, God bless America. We had Ohio State, and we just found ways to get in our own way, and we lost that game. But the coulda, shoulda, wouldas will drive you nuts, and it's just kind of an effort in futility at that point.
Well, my wife literally just gagged when you said Michigan, so I don't. It's rather symbolic if you think about it.
Yeah. Well, she may be gagging next week as well, because they're gonna probably walk all over Iowa, and they're probably gonna go to the playoffs.
Well, hey, there's always the blowout loss in the playoff for them. So
I don't know. They look better than last year's Michigan team. I will say that.
Well, it's like I said earlier. You can take away the sign stealer, but you can't take away the stolen sign.
That's right. That's right. I did see that. I thought that was clever.
It's impossible to try to change your signs and everybody learn a completely new scheme.
Yeah. I was thinking about that today. Like, Notre Dame has kind of they put up like numbers on the sideline, and I kind of wonder if like they're doing the wristband thing. It's like, okay, go to play number 625. It's like I feel like it's a game of Battleship at that point. But like, you could like put up whatever number you want, and it doesn't matter. Or you put in the number, and they put up the numbers, but then you change them every quarter. So then it's like an Enigma machine or something from World War II. So
odds, evens, negatives, and then positives.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to overcomplicate things. I'm still a fan of just, yelling your wide receiver's ear and have him just run out there with the play. That's just kind of my old school vibe. But hey,
it's all Michigan has done is did what the Astros from Houston did in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, exactly. Except they're not beating a trash can.
Progressively, getting towards a pitch calm for college football. It's just they've just rolled the ball towards that point. So
yeah, I mean they find a way to advance and give themselves an advantage, and quite frankly, that's what quote unquote good teams do. Now, in this particular situation, there's some rules being violated, so caught you, right? But yeah, I really haven't looked at Michigan because, I mean, why would I do that to myself? But, of the limited bits I have seen, and, as I do statistical research for the shows, see where Notre Dame is and some of these stats, and then I always see Michigan up there in a lot of them, and I'm like, look, yes, their strength of schedule isn't good, but they've been number one in Sagarin for a long time. Their defense is pretty good. They move the ball well. They communicate well on the line of scrimmage. So I don't want to give them too much praise, and because again I haven't watched them a whole lot. But at the same time, some of these stats you can't fake. You really can't. So, and they did just beat a team that beat us.
I'll look at it this way: there is more gold in the paint in Notre Dame's helmets than there is in those little trouser pendants that the Michigan football players are going to get with the score at the end of the season. So,
very good. Very good. Well, Coach, I really appreciate you joining us tonight on the Fighting Irish Faithful Show. You have a good Sunday. At Irish JTL, invite you to speak. You're on mute. Come back to us. Jason, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yo! Oh, you sound so down. Why? You sad the season's over?
I'm down. I'm ready to go to bed tonight.
Yeah. You're the sleepy. It's I mean you can at least go to bed, dreaming about Estime scoring touchdowns and running all over
Aldrich looked good. I'm a little sad that I think that's his last hurrah.
I think so too.
As an Irish running back, and that's it. I think it's going to be a rebuilding year next year. I think we all need to prepare for that, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's okay to be thinking next year where are we going to be, and people doing this mental math, and okay, we'll see the number of touches to estimate, leave the door, passing attempts by Hartman, this, that, or the other. There are some areas that I think we can feel good about, but I mean, how many guys on the defense are going to be leaving too, right? So there's a lot of tackles. And
there's gonna be a lot of people leaving.
I mean, for all we know, we don't even know if Al Golden is going to stick around or if he's going to get a head nod. If anyone saw the news break, I don't know if it was today or yesterday. What's his face at Oregon State took the job up at Michigan State. Yeah. So Sparty just took a coach before the season. I mean, I guess their season's over. But nah, the Oregon State didn't even wait for a bowl game. As soon as the Civil War with Oregon was over, boom, he took the job. So that's the Platypus Trophy, by the way, the dopest trophy ever for rivalry games, because it's the beaver and the duck. So Jason, you're sad, or can we at least enjoy the rest of college football and enjoy the bowl game?
I'm gonna enjoy tonight. And then I'm going to enjoy the ball game, I think. I don't know what's going to happen. But I think next year is going to be I think we have a lot of promise on defense. I think we have a lot of promise. But I'm just going to kind of reflect and see what's going to happen. I'm not sure how I feel now going next year.
Yeah. Well, and how can we, right? Like, we don't know. There's a lot of pieces that need to fall into play. We'll have recruiting that comes up, signing day, that sort of thing. And that tends to move things. Who's going to transfer in, who's going to transfer out. For me, the biggest thing with the defense is Al Golden. Is he gonna bounce and take a head coaching job or go somewhere else, or is he gonna stick around? I would love him to stick around. I'm actually looking forward to my statistical breakdown of this year's defense to pass Notre Dame defenses over the last 10, 15 years. So that'll be fun. That's my opinion of fun. It's just get a cup of coffee and Microsoft Excel. It's nice. It's nice. No, it is. It's quiet. It's therapeutic. Well, Jason, if there's nothing else, have a good morning.
No, I'm going to have a good one, Joe. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Have a good night.
Have a good one. All right, Lynch Mob, we'll see you there. We got a couple other guys, Bohemian Separatists, I see you there. Bruce Straighton, if you want to join us, that's cool too. We'll jump over to Jason Lynch, though. Lynch Mob ND. Member of the Dos Leprechauns family. You there?
What's up, guys?
Yo!
Hey,
happy.
There he is.
We're happy.
Yeah.
We won.
Well,
We're 9-3.
Yes.
I mean, I would be happier if we were undefeated and going to the playoffs. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. My stress level after this game is like really low now with Notre Dame football, because it's like we're not going to a good bowl. We're going to, a second tier bowl or whatever. I've kind of already embraced the fact that Estime is probably not going to be coming to the bowl game. I'd like him to. I think he should. But again, and my usual argument for that is, you could build up your draft stock for draft day, and then it's like, well, what the fuck did he just do today?
Yeah, I think he finished that up probably tonight.
I think so too. I mean, that's where my brain goes. It's not where my heart goes.
Right. I would like to see it against a more quality opponent.
Yeah, Stanford is trash. That's the only thing, because it's like Stanford is not good. They really aren't. I mean, Notre Dame. I love the little bar graph that ESPN has, the win probability. And as teams score and time moves on, it just like goes on and on and on. The lowest it ever got was 87%. The game started at 95% for Notre Dame. So it's like,
yeah, I missed the biggest part of the first quarter and the second, but I picked it up right before halftime.
Yeah. Oh, so you had problems with Fubo too?
No, I actually had some company over, and I was like, oh crap, that game started. So I just went to YouTube and streamed it off my phone.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you found some pirated version. Got it.
Yeah, and I don't have to remember to cancel another subscription.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. On that note, where are my post-it notes?
Right.
I got to do this anyway, because it's like Doc and I were having that discussion, and it's just like, all right, we got another kid. All right, we should probably cut some stuff out of the budget here. What are we going to do here?
Right.
I went the Sling TV route. I just activated my sports package on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got that for like a week, and then you're going to cancel it, or?
Yeah, I've got just kind of a basic Sling for like $7-8 that I pay for, and so I ended up just activating the sports package to it, which is like $25. But I'll pay for 1 month and then cancel it the 30 days.
I remember doing that for, what was it? I think it was like 2 years ago when Notre Dame, I think it was like a Virginia Tech game that was on the ACC network, and we didn't get it. It wasn't on Comcast Xfinity yet. And so it was only on YouTube Premium or YouTube Plus or whatever they call it, YouTube TV. And then I forgot to cancel it, which sucked. And so then I paid for a month of that crap. The last thing, though, that I did do knowingly and then cancel right away, and so I paid a month for something and then went away, was actually Netflix. I had Netflix for years and we weren't watching it, so I canceled it. And then the Manti Te'o documentary came out, and I was like, okay, I'll do this for a month and then cancel it right away. But that was the last time I did something like this. So
yeah, and I remember when PlayStation 3 first came out, you got a free 30-day Netflix subscription.
Okay.
I'm still running off of that free 30-day Netflix.
They do this for a reason. There's like, oh, look at all this stuff over here. Now, I will say this. Running Fubo, maybe it's Fubo. Fubbo? I like Fubbo.
I like FUBO.
FUBO on my TV, on my Vizio. That was irritating because I'm just trying to like because I'm putting toddler to bed, so I'm like trying to figure out how to pause it, and then like the controls were weird, and then like once you get the hang of it, and so I'm like trying to advance the DVR quote unquote setting with the app, and I'm pushing the arrow to the right to go, to advance the ticker, and that's the change the channel button in Fubo. So I kept changing the channel, and then when I change it back, of course it goes live, and so I'm like, no, I missed like 7 minutes of the game here, so I had to like rewind it. I eventually got caught up in the fourth, but I was like cussing basically, like, oh, I hate this app. Like, why are we doing this? So, first world problems, I guess. I will say this though, the controls were not as intuitive as Peacock, so Peacock gets a win on that one. But Peacock would always cut out on me, and I'd have to restart the app. I never had to restart the app once. So, slow clap, Fubo. Slow cap. Good stuff. Well, Lynch Mob, what else? What did we miss here? Angeli throws a pick, so that kind of silences some people about like, oh, just put in Angeli. He's going to be great, including this guy.
One play. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's the one we're going to poke at. I don't know. I mean, we could always talk about rushing statistics into the morning, but look, it's after midnight now on the East Coast. People are moving on, and I don't know.
Yeah, it was a good game there at the end. I would have liked to have saw Minchie at some point.
Yeah,
just for a little bit.
I bet they're trying to save his red shirt or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right, but he still keeps his red shirt if he's in 4 games.
Yeah. I'd have to go and see actually how much time he's actually put on the field, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it goes and how things end up with him and Carr and Angeli over the spring.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good mix-up.
The spring game should be interesting, that's for sure. Well, that's all I got, man. We enjoyed ourselves. Irish come out with a win. Everyone's pretty happy. It's not the shows aren't as epic, emotional, whatever. But yeah, it shouldn't be. Not against a team that's now 3-9 and 0-7 at home, which is really bizarre that Stanford didn't win a single home game this year. That might explain how empty Stanford Stadium was.
Yes, but they didn't run out of beer. Hendricks still had beer at the end of the game.
They did not run out of beer. Well, that's nice. Maybe that explains his lack of participation in tonight's show. But whatever.
Yeah, I FaceTimed him, and he was pretty sloshed in about the third quarter.
Oh, that would have been even more fun.
He was good.
That's okay. He's probably just going to be like, oh, it'll be fine when Carr gets in. For those who haven't been following Dos Leprechauns on Twitter, he has been a huge proponent, and rightfully so, but a huge proponent of CJ Carr. I think he thinks he's the best thing since sliced bread, which is fine. But yes, it's we will not stop hearing about that on our text chat, right, Lynch?
Ever.
Oh my gosh. And I'm not like, I don't ever want it like to prove him wrong or anything. It's just one of those things where it's like, well, don't hitch your wagon to someone that you don't even know who. We want him to be good. We think he'll be good. But I'm not going to start printing shirts. Like.
Yeah.
Don't do that yet. So, all right. I think we've had a decent enough show here. I think we've hit every nail that's sticking up on this board. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think we've made a good dent tonight.
I think so too. We brought AJ on at the beginning, and he's still with us here. We had a ton of people jump on, jump off. No problem at all. Lots of people on the show. Happy to have everyone here. This is great. This is the Fighting Irish Faithful show. What is this? Episode 29? Man, of this season 4. It's been a good season. It hasn't been a great season, but it's been a good season. And I think that's a good way to finish the year, with running all over Stanford, get a trophy back in our trophy case where it belongs, and call it good. So we'll take the week off unless something crazy happens over the weekend, which I don't think is going to happen. All those rumors about Marcus Freeman taking the Michigan State job obviously are false, so hooray. We'll be right here if any big news breaks, like Al Golden leaves or something like that. Estimate if that goes out, I'll probably just save that for another show, because quite frankly, that's pretty... I think that's what's going to happen. So I don't want it to happen, but probably will. And especially when you have quite frankly, his best game at Notre Dame in a Notre Dame uniform tonight. Okay, fine. So he's got to do what he's got to do. So don't go, though. Stay, please. Don't go. This is the Fighting Irish Faithful show. Notre Dame beats the snot out of the Stanford Cardinal, chops down their goofy, stupid tree and their shitty band. 56-23. Irish all over them. Have a good night. God bless you all as we are done with Thanksgiving, as we prepare for Christmas coming up. We'll see where we are with the bowl game coming up, and we'll talk to you soon. Go Irish. See you soon.
Throws the ball. It is caught. Reggie Brooks. Reggie Brooks got it for a two-pointer, and Notre Dame is out in front, 17-16. Lost the ball. The pass is batted down. It's batted down by Carroll.
It's caught by Samaja. Inside the 20. Inside the 10. He's going in. Notre Dame has scored. Dawson throws. Open receiver in the end zone. Touchdown. Notre Dame. Somehow the Irish did it.
Out of the pack, 30, 35. Goodbye, baby. At the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Five rocket touchdown, Irish.
Tyree! Whoa! Can he get there? Tyree at the 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Notre Dame! Woo! 98. Big ones. Zibikowski looking for a block. Cuts to the right to the 40. Gets a block. Gets to the 45, 50. Up to the 45, 40, 30. One man to beat. 20, 15, 10. He's down to the 5. Touchdown, Irish.